Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Straw Hat Deca here today, and today is the start of a new series on my channel where I invite guests on within the anime, manga, and cosplay community to talk about the shows they love so much and just how they got into the specific manga itself. Today I have the pleasure of being joined by my guest Kendra. She is one of the hosts of both the My Hero Academia and Haikyuu podcasts, as well as an occasional guest on the One Piece podcast. Her Twitter handle is @SniperOfMyHeart. So welcome to the channel, and thank you for agreeing to discuss the My Hero Academia series with me.
Thank you for having me on.
No, it's a pleasure. So just kind of going to be a basic interview here. I'm just curious to know, when did you first start reading or watching the series? When did you first run into My Hero?
I think I started seeing it on Tumblr because a lot of people were posting like really shippy pictures of Bakugo and Deku, and I was like, who's this blonde-haired kid and this like green-haired kid? And then I just was like, oh, whatever. And then eventually I started seeing people like posting like picture screenshots of the manga, and someone's like, oh, there's this bird head guy just like in the audio, like in the background. And I was like, what? So like, okay, I need to start reading this. So I started reading it, not exactly legally. So basically, Tokoyami got me into the series because I was like, what's with the Birdman?
I was going to say he's a very interesting character designer. I think Horikoshi's character designs in general are just, as another fellow One Piece fan, like we like very interesting character designs, and My Hero scooped me up right away when I saw it.
Yeah. Because I think I caught up around the sports festival. I think like right around the Ochako Bakugo fight. So I think Tokoyami hadn't been super he was still there, but I think like I might have seen it really early days, and people are like, "Who's that bird guy?" Because I like didn't realize he was part of the class until I started
just
reading.
caught interest in the character himself.
Mm.
No, that makes sense. I've been reading, I think, myself since it was during the actual entrance exam when Deku was doing the test was when I started catching up. But that was just because I was reading Jump at the time. But it sucks because this is one of those series that I feel like I would have had a lot of pleasure being able to binge read it. So those the upsides and downsides to getting into a series early. So go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I just know like USJ when the villains attacked, it was just like I hadn't got that spoiled for me at all. So I was like, what?
Nuts. The series gets much darker there. You're like, oh, this is there's real villains. It's not people just walking around pretending to be like bad guys. Like there's actual threats.
Yeah.
So how are you enjoying the anime adaptation of the series? I myself personally I really like the quality of the anime as a whole. And I feel like since the beginning though, for me it's the musical score is one of the best that I can recall in recent animes that I've watched. Like my wife, she comments on how she basically can't go an episode at some point without getting chills. Like there'll be a point in the series where even if it's just them talking and Deku's just having a cute little moment, like she'll be like smiling because the music itself has built so well. And I just was wondering if you liked it or not.
I like the anime. I guess like I maybe liked it a bit more at the start. And now like I guess it might just be the material that I think maybe it was just like the overhaul arc. I was just like
it did feel a bit rushed, eh?
Yeah. But other than that, like I guess I haven't really especially noticed the music or anything. But I think there was sometimes when they used like almost like rap like music, which is like, wait, what?
You're like, what's going on here? Yeah.
But You Say Run is amazing. It deserves the meme of like anything goes with You Say Run.
Yeah, no, it's very enjoyable. So I guess so tell me some stuff about the series then about you. I want to know what you like about it so much specifically. So to start off with kind of a basic question, but it's kind of a difficult one. Who's your favorite character in My Hero, and what are some of the traits you admire the most about them?
Oh, it's kind of hard, but I would say it's a kind of a tie between Kirishima and All Might.
Both great characters.
Yes. What I love about Kirishima is kind of like he's just like I don't know, he's trying his best. I think Horikoshi might have said that he created him to kind of like help bond the class together. That might have been Kaminari though.
I really like the idea of him being the rough object that Bakugo grinds against because he's literally like a hard object and it's like he wears him down. I like it.
And just kind of like the whole like manliness thing, but also like not having it be tied to gender. It's more just like trying to be a good person.
Yeah, like it almost for me when I see him do the manliest thing, it's not necessarily like he wants to be manly. It's he wants to be like hero, like you know what I mean. He wants to be when people see him, they're like, oh sweet, a hero's here, cool guy, like. And we can't say they don't do that if everybody's current. Obviously, I'm talking to you, but like Mirko right now is a badass chick who's like, oh my arm's gone, I'm still gonna kick her ass, no problem here. I really have been liking the series lately. Here's a flip side to that question for you. Then I feel like I have to add this next to Mineta. Who's your least favorite character in the series? It doesn't have to be Mineta. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh. I would say the Doctor, just because I don't think he's badly written. I just hate him. Like, I really, really hate him.
That's a good reason to not like him.
And maybe Overhaul as well. And maybe because a mix of, like, he's an asshole, but also like his writing is kind of
it almost comes across hollow when you have something like All for One, which is a ridiculous, like they have some sort of crazy backstory going back generations of heroes. Then this guy's like, I'm mad, I made my dad sick, so he couldn't stop me, and I get it. I thought he was intimidating for sure, but I agree. I feel like there's better villains to have throughout the series. So here's actually, since we're talking about that, who's your favorite villain then?
Oh.
It doesn't have to be. You don't have to necessarily pick a favorite. You can even pick a couple if you just want to discuss them.
I like Shigaraki just because like it's kind of cool how he started out kind of almost like very childish with his whole like we got to clear the final boss and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then he's like we see his evolution as a villain and kind of like how he kind of has to take the reins after One for All falls, all for One falls. I always confuse the two.
I do it all the time. Don't worry. All for One, because he has all the quirks, is how I think of it.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Oh my god, I can't believe I would have got that wrong right now. That'd be embarrassing.
But I'm trying to think of like I really like Twice. I think everyone likes Twice just because he's very much like he's a nice guy, or he's all like has a very warm personality. Well, it flips. But
with the most recent development too, it feels like a lot more people have a lot more reason to like him now too.
And I guess like I do like Stain, but some people like Stain a lot more than I do. I just like Stain's like, oh, heroes are making money. I'm like, yeah, we pay police officers and like other stuff.
Stain feels a bit poochy in the sense of it's like he's really cool bad guy. That's why everybody kind of likes him. But I agree. I think Stain's cool, but I agree with you. I think Shigaraki's a very interesting villain. It's cool in a series where you don't really get to see a whole arc in the middle of a series where it goes, hey, we're going to develop the main villain squad now. And then everybody gets a large power up.
I think Stain's cool. I just like wish he was explored a bit more. Then, like,
if
they
wasn't
are
a
gonna
one-off.
tackle that, then they should like tackle it. But it's like maybe it'll come up again.
They randomly name dropped him a couple chapters back, didn't they? When they were talking, I think All Might was talking to Sakuchi, or it was Racerhead outside, and it was the end of the conversation. And he's like, "Oh, you can't see Stain right now. You'll have to push that back later." It was something along those lines. But yeah, no, very interesting stuff though. Do you have a favorite or one of your favorite arcs? Like what's the arc you enjoy? Maybe we can say manga specific if you prefer the manga. I prefer the manga myself.
I would say USJ just because it was the first time the story really like or actually it's kind of like USJ Sports Festival. I do love what is it? My Villain Academia.
Yeah.
On the manga, just because it was like so different and so much darker and just like really cool. Yeah, I think those are probably my like three favorites.
The series itself almost has the Harry Potter effect where it's like, well, at least so this is a weird tangent, but like my grandmother, she really likes Harry Potter, but her favorite's the first one because she explains it as the whole world just gets open to you there, and like I can see why that's why you like the beginning, like USJ and stuff, because you actually get to see like Deku explaining everything around him.
Or I guess USJ is more like like the villains like attack and stuff at the I think the start is more like him. I guess it's because like before it's just him going to school and like da da da. Yeah. But then it's like
when the villains attack, it gets real. 100%. I misunderstood that. Thank you for explaining that. What's your least favorite arc? If you had to pick one.
Overhaul.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Because like I was reading it week to week, and I was like sometimes I like couldn't tell what was happening with the art. Like it was amazing. Like there were some panels when he's doing like his fingers separate the panels. That was cool. Yeah. But like they're fighting. I was just like they're flying around and like something's happening.
Yeah, even during the I would say even during the anime adaptation of the fight, there was a couple moments like that where he was doing stuff like near the end where like he throws out all the big fists and stuff like that. Where it was like for half a second I was like, wait, what? Like, what's going on? I loved it. I thought it was absolutely crazy. But I think a lot of people seem to like it because you get to see Deku do the 100% full cowling, but all because you get to see your hero do a crazy power. But it's like, I understand that's cool, but again, you need Eerie for that. So we shouldn't see that again for a while.
Yeah, because I would rather Deku solve the problem with his like smarts instead of like, oh, I'm just going to get stronger.
Yeah, or blow my arm off and it'll be fine.
Yeah, and I guess also just the fact that like the girls weren't really in it. I know like that's typical for shonen, but just because like everyone else jumping off a cliff doesn't mean you have to.
110%. All because other series have done more doesn't mean it excuses it in like other series. To not get into it, obviously, but like the whole Oden thing in One Piece right now.
No, we are not touching on it.
I 100% understand that. I'm on your side with that.
Yeah.
I think people like to just make excuses for the sake of excuses, but
Mm.
we're not going to get into that today.
Yes, that's I could do a
Sorry.
whole thing.
Yeah, no,
It's fine.
yeah,
It's
no,
fine.
that'll end up my video getting 1 million thumbs down right there.
Yes.
Yeah. So, anyways, but again, actually, we were just talking about the possibility of him doing it. Wait, I should ask quickly first.
Mm.
Have you you've seen the My Hero movie, correct?
Yes.
You weren't on the podcast last week, so I actually.
Yeah. But I saw it. Yeah.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the movie? Like, how did you feel about the ending? Possibly, like, even if I was a little
Oh.
bit confused with the sequence at the end, like, I won't lie, I still had my heart racing, like in theater, seeing it on the big screen, high animation, with Deku running, it looked like a bolt of lightning. I thought that was really cool animation, but like, I will admit, there were when it first started, my face was confused. My wife said she was watching me. She's like, "Why does he look so confused?" And I'm like, "I'll explain to you later, but this is kind of plot holy." Like,
Yeah.
what? And but next to that, like, I thought the movie itself was incredible. Like, I enjoyed it a lot up to that point, but I was left a little bit sour. Not in a bad way though. I really liked it. It's a movie. It's like the One Piece movies. You write off half of them as not actually part of the series. Like, I'm so sorry. Anyways, I kind of took over that question. Sorry.
Okay.
What were your thoughts on the movie?
I really liked the movie. I really liked kind of getting to see more of the students and like them getting to be like heroes in their own right. I was like a little annoyed because Bakugo like wasn't helping, and I was like, I get it, you just want to fight the villains, and he was like saving his sweat, but I was also like, you need to learn how to capture people or like what is embrace people's hearts. There's something with the kids.
Exactly. No, I agree completely. The fact that it kind of felt hollow with him being like, I'm sitting here because I don't feel like it. You think he'd at least pick some jobs he felt like were up to him. Like, oh, I'm the tough guy. I'll do this. I'll help out. But like, he still wants to be a hero, right? He's not going to turn people down.
Yeah, and I like that Hagagura, or actually, I didn't like Hagagura didn't do anything. Everyone else got a moment except her.
That's a good point.
I
kind of
think it's
missed right
because
over
of her.
that.
I think it's kind of her quirk though, and that it's even in the manga we know like she can control light or something.
Yeah, they were showing her bending the light last time. Yeah.
And so I almost thought the first time I watched it, I thought she had been bending Aoyama's laser beam at one point. But when I watched it again, I didn't like it didn't seem like that was the case at all. He was just doing his like naval buffet.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like the manga, like you were, like where she actually curves it in the manga, like moving the light.
But as for the ending thing, I had that spoiled for me, so I knew it was coming.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, thank you, certain people, for tweeting that out.
It's so hard to mute stuff. Like,
oh, it was the thing. So I'd muted that person. I hadn't muted them on the podcast Twitter, and I got spoiled through the podcast Twitter. And I was like, ugh. But I think like it's fine because it's a movie and it makes sense. But I think Bakugo should have been a lot more angry because then he like couldn't. He can't like. They can't be like, I don't know, he can't fight Deku again. Deku doesn't get the chance to make the quirk his own. And that's like Bakugo forgetting it seems really bullshit.
Yeah, it feels very like on a plot armory. They're like, he forgot. He got knocked out, so it didn't transfer. But like, I was trying to explain to my wife, the reason I was so confused was in my mind, I'm like, well, he has to give it back to Deku, but then Pichan's now part of the chain of One for All, so Deku could technically get, like, my mind was racing. I was doing the Deku little mumbling meme talking to myself. But basically, I know, I'm happy they pulled it back. Deku didn't lose the quirk. It was supposed to be, like, the heroic self-sacrificing here. I don't know, I saw the movie a couple times. I'm trying to, like, reason with it. I enjoyed the movie as a whole, but, like, I wasn't a big fan of the ending, but I still liked it. I don't know, I'm being picky, I guess.
Because it kind of makes sense, because I think, like, when Deku first got the quirk, All Might was saying that it takes a while to go into effect or something. That's the one thing, is that Bakugo's able to use it right away. And
at pretty high power.
Yeah, I was a bit worried that he like wasn't gonna break any limbs and that he was like better designed for it than Bakugo.
I should have had the quirk kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, but luckily, okay, I was like, I feel bad for saying luckily, but I was like, okay, his limbs broke. It's not true, like though. He should be. He like is the rightful person.
Just trying to punch into the air just to see how strong he was. He blew off his arm essentially. You know what I mean? Like at least it goes to show Deku's no pushover. Like it's a very, and that's a good point though. Like All Might fights for like a couple months or something like that, or maybe I'm exaggerating the timeline, but he fights for a little bit, still being All Might after passing it to Deku. So,
but like I mean, Deku's able to use it. I just mean that like Deku ate the hair, and then he had to go right away to the exam, and he didn't have super strength for a while.
And then he starts like the quirk itself starts like unlocking, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that makes a lot of sense. I was just curious what you thought about the movie. A lot of people have been talking about it. So, if I quickly can, what were your thoughts on this week's chapter? Quickly, we don't have to go crazy
Oh,
into it.
oh, I love it. I love Mirko so much.
I didn't get to hear you on the podcast, so I was very excited that
Yes.
I'd actually get to ask you myself how you felt about it.
Yes, but I just all like, especially like the double page spreads where she was doing attacks and stuff.
She's like
I
jumping
guess
through them. It's
yes.
nuts.
Part of me is like a little bit annoyed because everyone's like, "Oh, she's thick, she's so hot," and I was
Oh, I
like,
know.
"What if she looked like?" Or like, have you heard of Squirrel Girl?
I have not.
Squirrel Girl's a character from, oh, what is she from? Marvel? I think Marvel. And she like she's kind of like a ridiculous character that she has like she can talk to squirrels, she has a squirrel tail, and she's like big buck teeth.
Yeah.
And sometimes she's like, depending on who draws her, attractiveness changes. But I was like, what if Mirko had the big buck teeth? So like I think it's fine. Like I'm not like calling him out. I'm just saying like part of it just like irks me a bit where I'm like, I get it. She's hot.
It falls into that classic thing we were talking about before where people are like, oh, it's shonen, so the girls are gonna look hot, like the guys are gonna have six packs, all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But I agree though, if she looked like the Squirrel Girl from Marvel, would 75% of the dudes toting how she's their favorite be saying
Yeah.
that if she wasn't obviously attractive for a character? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
no, I like that she's a straight badass. I feel like
Yeah.
her actual character itself, like you were saying, you love her, you too. Like she's a wicked character, but like I agree that half of what I'm seeing online is guys just sharing screen caps over more than being like, hey, it looks like she just killed two of the high-end Nomu in one chapter. That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
She says if she kicks their heads off, they don't regenerate, right? So I'm like, are those two dead now? Like, I don't know.
Oh, have you read One Punch Man at all?
I have.
Oh, so you know, there's the gymnast character, the girl.
Yes,
She
like,
reminds me of Mirko a lot.
That's actually a good point. Just to take away the ears, throw her hair back, and then oh yeah.
Because I think even the gymnast person, she like I think she crushed him with her thighs as well, or there was something involving watermelons.
I think so. Yeah, I think she's done that a couple times. I think she's got one guy with a bicep. I'm pretty sure one time, but I think you're right. I think she like decapitates a guy with her, like Mirko did, I guess. Like,
yeah, and Mirko though I think Sophie pointed out on the podcast that Mirko actually uses her like calves. Like she does that, like she lands there, which is like a stupid pose, but I think it's like it makes sense because like I think. Or I don't, sorry, and then she like turns and like rips off, like I don't know, like I love that move so much.
That move is a wrestling move, at least from the way I read it. It's like a Hurricane Rana. So yeah, it's like they basically put like their like calves or ankles around their neck, and obviously if you were decapitating a person, the person would jump, and it looks like you throw them over you. So like to have her like land, and it looks like she just quickly, because she keeps yelling out like I think she uses a Spanish word on her last move, but like she's doing all these different things, and like it felt very luchador-y when she got over him, and then literally just tapped his head off with what looked like a wrestling move. I thought it was, I popped for that. I was very excited reading that chapter.
Yeah, and it almost makes me wonder because like I feel like Shigaraki like has to get away, right? So I wonder how they're gonna do it. I want the doctor to get punched in the face. That's all I want.
One good kick. We keep getting teased that like her leg keeps coming into the panel, and then it cuts away, and it's twice as quirk. Oh, it's a fake. Like Mocha saved him, or Mocha saving him, whatever its name is. Stuff like that. I want to see him get kicked. It's like Spandam in One Piece. You want to see him get his.
And I really don't want Mirko to die, but she is going to. Like
I said that in my video when it got to the chapter title came up, and it was like halfway through the chapter, and it's while Mirko's talking shit, and I literally looked at the camera. I'm like, if you kill Mirko, I'm gonna have an issue. Like,
but I'm glad that she's going out in a blaze of glory, or she's just getting a blaze of glory.
She's done too much of the anime classic where it's I will choose where I die. I'm not dying now.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of those moments where Shigaraki, like, he might not be fully finished up powering up, but he's still stronger. If he wakes up, that's a serious threat. Like, and she's missing an arm. She's hurt. She's fighting 5 Nomu. Like, I don't know. I'm worried for her. I hope she's good. I want to see her much further on in the series.
Yeah, and I hope I don't want it to come down to like, oh, Deku comes along and he's like, I'm gonna do cool stuff, and it's like, there's so many pros here. Deku should have like just be pulling out civilians.
Yeah, like he should run into some random strong enemy maybe while doing that, but not he has to go save pro heroes. The current number one's supposed to be behind her fighting Nomu, right? Like she's fighting 5 Nomu.
Crust is number 5. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, I meant Endeavor is who she's talking to on the thing. He's in the hospital, right? So she's further in. The fact that he can't just like essentially blaze a hole right to her kind of sucks, because like I don't want to see her die again. I'm just trying to find holes that keep her alive. I feel like they're gonna kill her. It's got me worried. So yeah, no, I promise not to drone on too long here. So for the last My Hero question, basically, what are some, like, if you had to pick a couple, what are some unanswered storylines that are going in the series right now that
Oh.
that you most want answers for?
I really want to know how the first for all user passed on their quirk. I want to know who the second user was. Just
Yeah,
because, like,
because we're missing 2 and 3, right?
yeah. And I just, like, I don't understand how they knew to pass it, how he knew to pass it on.
How you could? Does
How
someone
you,
just eat a piece of him or something? Like,
yeah, like, I'm deeply curious about that. And also, like, the traitor thing is I think, like, the fandom itself has gotten really obsessed with it. Well, like,
yes,
in the
I agree.
manga, it's not even that big of a deal.
It's a
Like,
one-off line, and then they bring it up later by going, "Oh, we don't think there's a traitor." It was we. It makes sense for them to think that when it first happens, because it's like, how do the villains keep finding out? But they
yeah.
have like teleportation quirks, and so they're
But that
teamed
just
up with All for One. There's stuff that could help them figure out where the kids
it's
are going.
it's still they have teleportation, but it doesn't explain how they knew where they were.
That's true. I agree with you in the sense of I feel
Hmm.
like the fandoms run away with the idea like
Yeah.
since they first brought it up. It's been years now. All I hear
Mhm.
everybody's like, "But who's the traitor?" And I'm like, is that still that big of a? I guess if there is a traitor, it's a big
Yeah.
deal. But I don't really buy that there's somebody full out just betraying them.
And I guess like I do like it, but I'm just like, just tell us already. Same with like the
Yeah,
Dabi being a Todoroki. I'm just like, I don't care. I hope he's not a Todoroki. Like I'm just like
yeah.
I'm literally a contrarian on the Dabi thing just because it makes me mad.
Yeah, just because every time it's almost like he has this color hair, they have this color hair in One
Yes.
Piece. People are like, well, the quirk's fire related, so
hmm
maybe. I'm like, I'm just thinking anime wise, blue fire usually represents like a satanic fire or something. I'm thinking like Blue
Uh,
Exorcist, so I'm like, I assume it's literally a different class of fire. And didn't we see a black
or
fire guy at one point?
I don't think so. I think also like I think a blue flame is hotter. So that's why it
Yes.
was cool. Like in the in the movie, it was nice that Endeavor was able to beat a Dobby clone, and he was like, "Brrr." And that's
Yeah.
the one thing is that the movie, I was just like, this is interesting because they haven't really confronted each other. They had like a stare down, and that was
Oh,
it.
another part that was wonderful about the movie, this is ironic, it wasn't wonderful. They normally, I'm not too worried about stuff being spoiled for my wife, but the freaking nine just drops this kid has more than one quirk. And then they don't address it the rest of the movie. He doesn't do like Black Way. He doesn't talk about anything. And my wife's sitting there going, Deku has 2 quirks? Deku has 2 quirks? And I'm like, oh shit. And then she forgot about it by the end of the movie because they didn't address
Uh,
it. But I really hope she
hmm.
doesn't remember that.
I
Or
think
that's
it
a
kind of
spoiler.
makes sense that it, because yeah, he said like he didn't have enough slots.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he wanted to take his quirk because he only had I think he only had room for a couple more, right? And then it's he actually has like 7 behind him. It's like,
Mm.
oh, can't touch
Uh,
this.
I wish they'd almost just done that you couldn't take it because I think that's what All Might said at the start, or he said that after the Stain arc that it can't be taken, it can only be
Yeah,
given.
yeah,
And
and
I think
that's
that would
why
have been
his
enough.
quirk scared me at first, where it was like his
Yeah.
quirk's gonna get around it somehow. Like that's what
Yeah.
worried me the most.
But they're definitely I heard people like in the audience being like, that's bullshit. And I want to be like, it's in the fucking manga.
Yeah, he turned around and be like, well, actually, it's this, but
Yeah, I'm
I
like I
understand
will
why
be
you're
that
mad.
person. Yeah.
I think it's because they were worried. Like when he first started looking, he was going to take the quirk. My like wife actually kind of seized up on my arm a little bit. She's like, "She's not gonna what?" Like, oh god, sorry about that. I'm keeping you forever here, but
It's fine.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you quickly about One Piece. Just a few little ones.
Oh.
So quickly, I'm curious to know just who's your favorite Straw Hat?
Oh, it's like a tie between Usopp and Jinbei. Usopp's probably leading just because we've seen him more and I love him, but
Have more
I'm
time
like
to develop with
people
them.
probably like my like what username, whatever it was on Twitter for a long time was give us the fish uncle. Now
I
it's read
love it.
Haikyuu.
That was my favorite. I think I even messaged you out of nowhere, being like, "You have the best Twitter handle I've ever read." It's still my favorite. I almost put that in my like intro there. I was like, oh no, it's Read Haikyuu. But I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, I have to thank you for introducing me to that series. I've never touched sports manga because it's just not that it hasn't caught my attention, but I've always been into
Mm.
manga for like more a lot of the action. Like I like a lot of like shonen series and like some darker series and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna be interested in like a happy volleyball manga, and I am hooked. Like I am hooked.
Yeah. Where
I
are you
read
now in it? Sorry.
so I read 40 chapters. So right now I'm they just finished up so they're getting ready to go into their first tournament. I think it's like a
Ooh,
qualifier. Oh, sorry, they just did their second practice game against
death or no?
no, yeah, no. So they're getting ready for their first game and they go against Data in the second if they win. So I'm getting right into that. But I would literally be halfway through the series right now, but I had to stop because I liked it too much. And I binge read. So I got 40 chapters in, and then I went to Hikaru no Go and basically read all 200 chapters of that because I didn't want to like read Hikaru that fast because I was like, I know I'm going to enjoy this. So I didn't want to read it all in 2 days. But like today I picked up and read another 10 chapters because I was just like, I can't stop. Break on work, scrolling through it. I love it. Anyways, amazing.
And for your viewers, there's no gap in the Haikyuu one anymore. Read it now.
I didn't even realize that. I'm reading it just catching up anyways, but like that's a valid point. I remember you saying that before. That's why I didn't start it before. There was the gap. I was afraid to catch up.
And Hikaru no Go, I've read that as well. It's really good. I think like I didn't like the later bit as much. I just really loved Sai.
Yes.
Like Ghost.
So when Sai actually like this series has been out for a while, but when the ghost itself disappears, like that actually like broke my heart a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I was sitting there and I was just like, oh wait, that's actually how they're gonna no what? And then it's like a nice like two-page spread of like Hikaru sitting there alone playing, the windows open, and then like it's like 5 chapters of him just being miserable and like oh maybe he flew out the window and like I was really hoping he'd find him, but like he didn't, but like.
But I think it's definitely a really cool thing to do because then he needs to like basically get good himself and just like I love that, but I was also just like I just like Sai.
I do too. His little like cute reactions in the background, him using his little fan and stuff, and I did really enjoy the scene though where he starts playing like his friend and when he plays them he realizes like oh I can see Sai, but it's only through playing on the board and like. Again, like I'm surprised I'm moved by a manga that's about people playing a board game. You know what I mean? Like putting down. Like, I don't know, like him just bawling his, like, I wasn't even bawling his eyes, he just slowly cries to himself. And I don't know, I was surprised that I could be moved again by a series that didn't have to have some guy doing some crazy cool cutting a mountain in half. Like, I love that. But I can get just as much satisfaction out of a kid spiking a volleyball.
I know there's a series called Chufuri or something. It's about people. It's like a poem board game thing. I haven't watched it yet, but people are like very much love it. But I can't remember what it's called. But I need to check it out, and then maybe I'll recommend it to other people. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I'll write that down myself, and I'll have to take a look. But definitely, I can see why you changed your name to Read Haikyuu though, because like that is.
I'm probably gonna like change it back now.
That is still a quality series though, and like if you can get more people like me to get into it, they will definitely be happy with it. But I don't really think I want to force you to talk about One Piece too much because again, I wanted to have you on for the My Hero stuff. But like, do you have a specific favorite arc in One Piece?
Oh, I think probably the boring answer just Enies Lobby because like everyone loves it, but
it's mine too though. Like,
but I would say maybe Water 7 as like a caveat to saying like the first part, just because like the emotional like turmoil, like the Usopp versus Luffy fight broke me as a person.
100%. I have to include Water 7 with Enies Lobby when I'm talking because I don't like I'm like you like where it's like that Usopp fight and like him realizing like he's really losing Robin and stuff. Like I feel like that's a lot of character development, and I really do love the end too. But like for me, I just mash it all together. But I feel like that's the normal answer, but it's not a bad normal answer when like.
And I would say for post time skip, Punk Hazard has grown on me a lot. Just because it's just so weird. Like they're trying to figure out what's happening, kind of like Thriller Bark, but just like. The body switching, some of it's in, but I just thought like it was just, and also like when Mocha eats the candy. It's funny. There's 2 Mochas. She eats the candy. That is like the hardest I've cried at One Piece. Like period. Even like deaths, I cried harder when she like ate all the drugs.
For sure, like, cause you're like this girl is dead. Like
yes, and she's a little girl who's a giant girl, and just like I was just like I lost it. But I think that was still anime only at that point. And I was just like, what? Why is this allowed to happen?
No, that's still good though. I thoroughly enjoyed Punk Hazard. I thought it was just fun to see the crew back together. Like, I feel like Fishman Island's one of those things where people are gonna look back on it more positively later down the road. Like how when Skypiea came out, people ragged on Skypiea. Like it was, I caught Current. It was just before Luffy gets into Impelled Down. I was like in grade 9.
Oh.
Like so. Anyway, sorry, but like I remember people like reading about like stuff on the forums and stuff. People ragged on Skypiea, but now you talk to a lot of people, and because they flushed out reasonings for backstories and how Skypiea actually connects to other stuff, people start to like it more. And I almost feel like that's going to be Fishman Island when we actually understand what Noah's for and like what the connection to the voice of all things and him being able to hear the Sea Kings and stuff. I just feel like that's going to make that more enjoyable because it's not a bad arc because it's very shonen, but it's fun to see Luffy and crew flex on 100,000 people and be like, we came ready.
I would say probably Skypiea might be my second favorite, just because like
wonderful arc.
Yeah, just because it's cool to see like them just like kind of disconnected from everything else, but is connected. Everything else turns out, and it's just like them. It's just cool and like Anel's scary. What was I thinking of? You were saying something.
Well, the Anel face is wonderful too. Just to throw that out there, like just to know Luffy's made of rubber. That's still one of the most basic straight setups that I can't remember loving more. Like,
and I also love when Luffy realizes Conus is lying. Like she's like, "Oh, you're shaking," and he knows he's like has that intuitive thing that.
And he's like, "Why did you tell us?"
It's yes, like
one of the best scenes in One Piece.
So good, and that's something that like I wish came up more because there's like other betrayals later, and you don't really
get the same
feel. That.
But, see, I think One Piece is the best for that specifically. I think those moments where Luffy like Luffy help and he's like I will, and moments like that where him, Sanji and Zoro are like, why did you say something? Why did you tell us? Like we don't care. We can take care of ourselves. Like why would you put yourself in danger? And just I love this crew. I love the connections. I wish people were actually like that. You should be able to make stronger friends.
And I know Fishman Island too. I just love like Jinbei was in it a lot, but also like Fisher Tiger and Odahime are like some of my all-time favorites.
Koala comes back. Like what?
Yes, that was that was so weird. Oh yes, that was good. Like I like that. I wanted to come back again. Like everyone's worried about Sabo, and I'm like, can Koala to have her? I think someone was saying like a rescue mission. I was like, literally just let Koala do things.
Yeah, just let her. Like, she is like a leader in her own right.
Yeah. So and like I think okay, this is just getting into crack theories, but I really want the Marines.
You don't have to worry.
I want the Marines to come to Wano, just so like Shishigi can do stuff, and like Fujitora. Even though like it won't happen until like maybe the end or something. But
so I got in a disagreement with the people on the One Piece podcast because one time I sent in it's not a bad one. It's just one time I sent in like a piece to tweet being like this was before Wano, being like, will we see Fujitora in Wano? Just the samurai motif.
Yeah.
He literally walks around with a katana. He's wearing a kimono, not kimono, sorry. He's wearing like his like samurai garb and stuff, and just and they were just like, oh no, the Viver cards came out, and it says on here he's from the Grand Line, so that means he's not from the New World. But I'm like, no, the New World is the last half of the Grand Line. You're still on the Grand Line. It's the last half, right? Paradise is the first half. Anyways, but and part of the New World is Wano. So if he was from Wano's in the Grand Line. Anyways, but I was just like, I like the idea of him being from Wano just because it's the whole samurai connection. But again, that's just me being a little nerd, and like I think there's something there. Like they're now letting people from outside borders, like outside of the world government, come in to be part of the military. Now you have Fujitora. Like
I guess I don't think he's from Wano, but I think maybe it would be cool if maybe he was he knows someone from there or something. I was trying to look up if what he's wearing is a jinbei because that's like a type of clothing, but it doesn't say it on the wiki.
Specifically.
Oh, he's wearing a yukata. Boo! Only wear jinbeis.
That's funny. Well, they can't now because there is a jinbei, right? They're like, translation, not even do it.
But yeah, and I'm just here's a question for you. I've turned the tables.
I love it. Go for it.
The flashback is going to is like over, like it's going to be present day in the next chapter, or do you think it'll still be flashback?
So I personally believe we're going to be cutting into Act 3. I don't think the flashback's over in the sense of there's going to be like there's no more flashback for the rest of the like Wano, but yeah, I do agree that I think we're going back to current time now. I think I hope we're going back to current time. I'd like us to go back to current, and in between maybe the next arcs, hopefully we can get a Toki based flashback. Because again, she got the shortest end of that crappy stick.
My god, yeah. And that's why I think we're gonna get a Toki thing.
Oh my god, it just kills me.
A small one that's gonna suck because Oda has like no concept of how to write women.
No, it kills me because the idea of hey, there's this person who says she's from the Void Century. We're going to go to this place and figure out the secrets about the Void Century. We can't take her, she's sick. But Odin can hang off a chain for 2 weeks and make it through this unmanly feat, but a cold takes out Toki. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like she got a fever. You have a doctor on board. It was just but
the
that could be
doctor to the king of the pirates, nonetheless.
yeah, it was just he just Odo was like, oh wait, she's from the Void Century. I can't have her
I
go
can't
there
send her.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I thought.
So,
Yeah.
and it's just like the worst. You literally think of anything else. Like
Oh,
anything would have been
and then
better.
she gets a moment where it's like, oh, here's a scar. But at least that is probably going to be relevant, I assume. Like, not assume, sorry. I've heard some pretty interesting theories where people try to say, like, Hiyori's one person, and you're going to realize that, oh my god, Kurosaki, I think's her name when she's being the geisha, right? But anyways, it doesn't matter. But like people are saying Kurosaki might be Toki, and then Hiyori is Hiyori, like with Zoro, and like we're gonna realize one's not the other when you see the scar on the leg, and they're gonna be like, "That's
I would love
Toki's
that, but
scar."
I don't have that confidence in Oda. I don't think so.
I think people are just like, she got a scar because it made Odin mad. You scarred my
Exactly.
wife. I'm gonna kick your ass. It's nothing to
And
do with
that's why,
her.
like, on the One Piece podcast, they're like, oh, that showed, like, he put her
Oh
over
yeah.
his country. And I was like, no, it just
No.
showed he was, like, getting mad. It wasn't about her. It was about, like,
It
you
was
hurt my
still about him
property.
being mad. Yes, you hurt my wife. I'm coming to set this straight. Like,
Yeah, like, But,
yeah, I'm on
yeah,
the same page.
I'm sorry, I probably
We should
earning
stop. I'm
down
making.
votes for this.
I don't give a
My
shit.
Hero's good. Yay, upvote
Yeah.
this video, please.
No, you do not have to worry in the slightest. I like Odin as like his own character, but I don't like Odin as the sense of people are ignoring the fact that like, oh, it's historically accurate to a story Oda's trying to talk about. That's why there's the harem of women. But it's like, does he actually need this harem of women to be a cool character? He was bad. He got better. It's like, it's cool that he got better, but he still did bad things. Like, I don't know. We don't need to get into it.
On the topic of One Piece, Oda's interviewing a pedophile.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. So I actually was ignorant on that fact, to the sense that I didn't know that the writer of Ryori Kenshin was a pedophile, and I looked it up, and like he's unrepentant about it. He didn't go to jail. He got a fine because Japan's crazy. Their law systems make no sense, but like,
or, I guess we shouldn't say crazy. We like their
that's
law
true.
system
That
is
is
weird,
rude,
and
yeah,
they don't like and like it's a cultural thing, but also just like it's pedophilia.
Yeah,
And it's
I don't
also
know.
because
I have a
he's
very Western
famous. They
sense
do
on
have
it.
you can get jail time for it. He's famous,
He's
so they
got
didn't
better
want to
things.
hit him with it. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah,
So
it's
let's let's save. I don't want to, I feel like we're getting very controversial here.
if
But
anybody makes it 40 minutes into this and they think I'm controversial, they probably like us. We're okay.
yes.
It blew me away, and I've only ever read like the first few chapters of Ryori Kenshin. Not that it's bad or good or anything like that. I just didn't continue with it. And when I read that, it actually kind of blew me away because I was just like, oh, I didn't know that. Like I knew Oda worked. Like I read the first few chapters because I know Oda worked like with him. So I was like, oh, I'm curious to see what like Oda Sensei was like. Let's check this out. And like that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then to be like, oh, he's a pedophile. He's unrepentant about being a pedophile. He won't like say sorry about it. And Oda's interview, and people are like, separate the art from the like artist, but they're not getting together. Oda's not sitting down to talk about his time with Ryori Kenshin and what he thinks about the series in manga. He's sitting down to talk to the pedophile about how the pedophile wrote the series. Like
Yeah.
I like, and you know what? Again, I think that is just the like Western culture versus like maybe like Japanese culture, in the sense of we see it as when you're a pedophile, it's not like, oh, that's a bad tick on your record. It's a let's get rid of that record. Not like kill them. That sounded really bad. I meant like we're not going to interview you because you don't deserve to have national television time with the number one mangaka in Japan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I ranted a bit there. I apologize.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's a whole
unnecessary.
bag of worms, and I'm just like, it's just you can just say no. I'm busy. So is there going to be a break, and if you can call it the pedo break, because
why does Oda have to talk to him? Like I
Yeah.
get they work together, but like you don't. Oda doesn't need that kind of negative clout right now.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like tweeting about it, and I'm like trying like different hashtags. And I'm
Same
just,
page.
like,
I'm liking and retweeting those.
yeah, but I guess like obviously like Japan doesn't care what I think because I am just one person. But and also there's probably people in Japan who do care as well, but their voices aren't getting heard. So I'm definitely I don't know how to search that though. That's the problem. But I don't know. It just sucks.
That stuff doesn't
really
get shared though, right? Like it takes something to the level of you have to get literally the government government of China angry about a character name before
The character name
people
thing.
come, which is still, I agree that should have happened.
Oh, here's the thing.
Like, agreed, that should never have happened.
Yeah, I kind of equated them two, and I was like, if we can, like, if people getting mad on Twitter, and like also like obviously, I think it was probably maybe a bit more the government of China was like, we're not selling these books, but like, if we can get that just from like Horikoshi out of ignorance accidentally named a character the most hyper specific war crime.
I truly believe it was like an honest mistake.
It was ignorance.
I agree.
Oda does not have that excuse. He's like, there's not like he doesn't know the guy's a pedophile. It's not a secret. He's a pedophile.
Yeah, he must have continued to be like friends with them. And it's weird when you think, I'm pretty sure Oda has a daughter, like a young daughter. Why would you want to interview a known pedophile? It's a very confusing bag of worms. I agree.
Yes. But it's nothing we can really do about it. I hope maybe Oda will like take a hint or like something will come of it. But good luck.
They don't listen to Western audiences much, though, right?
Yeah, it makes sense, but it's frustrating. But I don't know. Don't tweet. People were like tweeting very angry things at Horikoshi, which I don't think was fair. But don't do that to Oda. Just be like, hey, maybe don't interview a pedophile.
Yeah, maybe don't interview a pedophile. No, I agree completely. Like, and like, I don't know, maybe it's just because we're like One Piece fans, but like the idea of Horikoshi thinking he's round, he's short and round. I'm gonna call him this. He like worships Shigaraki and like the family, so that's where he takes the Shiga from and stuff like that. And like
part of that's like, but his parents still named him, unless this is another. It might be another fake name.
Like how?
Because he's really old. Remember,
the most glaring mistake is how did it get past anything? You know what I mean? Like how like stuff gets caught or should get caught in the boardroom before it goes out. Five people
also like don't name a character Fatso or like
that's a good point. Short, fat, Shiga.
Don't fat shame the doctor. There's other stuff to
that's a good point.
Shame him for. But I think it's a Horikoshi. Like I feel like it's usually their quirk. It's not their appearances. That's why it felt a little weird. So I think it's definitely a fake name, and that he has another real name or something, because he's really old, so he must have had a previous identity.
Well, yeah, exactly. How old is he, right? Is he as old as All For One? When did they meet up? Like, and my biggest thing too I'm wondering about, he's sprinting the hell out of his lab right now, and like he's still holding like a handful of vials, but like it's like he specifically took a few with him, and I'm just very curious to know, like, this is kind of like tinfoil hat theory, but like what are those quirks he took? Like what were the ones that were like, I can get all these other things back, fine, whatever, but I can't get off the ground without these vials. Like you would assume those are what he grabbed, or maybe I'm just reading into a doctor running away cowardly, but like I like to think he's like, I have to get these out for either Shigaraki, myself, or something else. Like
watch him just like pull out a gun.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because that's like the first My Hero movie. It was really jarring when like David Shields had a gun or something. I was like, whoa, I forgot.
Yeah, and it's one of those moments where you're like, oh no, my only weakness, bullets. Like...
Yes, so I'm gonna call it now. He's gonna have a gun.
Oh my lord, I would love that.
Not even a quirk gun, just a gun.
Just a gun, like a straight up cop gun. And they're like, "What do you mean you didn't bring bulletproof armor?" Boom, brought a gun to a quirk fight. Like, no, that's good though. That's hysterical. But no, yeah, thank you very much though. Like, last but not least though, I just want to say thank you very much for joining me today, Kendra. It was a pleasure to talk to you. I really got to enjoy knowing you better. And hopefully we can talk again sometime about this.
Yeah, I might see you at Anime North.
Oh, hopefully if me and Scarlett and a couple other people have applied for a One Piece One Piece panel there. So hopefully we get in there for that. Scarlett usually gets in on those.
Yeah.
And then I've also applied for the My Hero one actually as well, because there's so my name's in for one of them, but it has neither been approved yet. They're still pending and all that stuff. We're trying to get them organized, but
nice.
I think that one's an anime more specific one though. I was trying to get involved with somebody else who ran one the year prior, so just trying to figure things out. It'd be great to actually get to see you guys in person, get to know you.
Yay. Oh yeah, Sophie's in Britain, so you won't be seeing her.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to message her soon and talk to her too, but I was messaging her before. I finally have my recording thing figured out. It's going smoother than I thought it was. You were wonderful, so this went very well.
Thank you for having me on.
It was great to have you on.
Sorry for ranting.
No, I'm happy you did. I'm happy I got a chance to do it too. I'm gonna
stop.
Well, sorry. Do you wanna quickly plug yourself?
Oh, you can follow me on Twitter at Sniper of My Heart. You can follow the My Hero podcast at MHA Pod. You can follow the Haikyuu podcast at The View from the Top. And that's about it. Tweet out hashtag Oda cancel the interview or something.
110% agreed.
But
no, yeah.
we'll see. I'm dating this video very much by doing that.
No, I don't mind the slightest. I just wanted, but no, yeah. Thank you very much for joining me. Everybody,
Yay.
stay safe and have a good one. Straw Hat Deku said.
今度はしっかり掴み続けるんだ離さないよ